As you bash harder and harder, you tend to break more parts. And one of the most common things to break is generally A-arms and hubs. Now, they're generally getting stronger and stronger overall, and you can get upgrade parts like RPM. But what if you can't get RPM parts or you don't want to have to pay for them? There are ways to make the stock ones stronger. Cheapest way? Going with WD-40. It absorbs into the plastic, making it softer, and it will absorb the impact rather than break. Yeah, you just want to spray WD-40 all over it. I want to leave that for about a day, and then you want to wipe it off. You can just leave it on and it'll get stronger and stronger. I've done this 5 or 6 times to this thing, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every time I do it. It's taking ridiculously bad landings now, really well. I mean, you don't want to put too much on, because if you do too much, you'll end up knackering your shock shafts, which you really don't want to do. A bit of a pain in the butt to fit, unless you get a whole new shock, which are quite expensive. Should make your A-arms pretty much indestructible now. To a limit. If you do it too much, you'll knacker your shock shafts, and it won't really handle very nice if you do too much, because it'll just flex and move around. So if you're a racer, I wouldn't really suggest doing it, because you're not going to handle very nice, and the steering won't be as act, and it'll be all over the place, really. I mean, you can still do it. This doesn't work on metal A-arms, because it only seeps into plastic, but it's a nice way to do it, and the worst thing it's going to do is really just get into your bearings. All you're going to do is oil them. I mean, I'd recommend probably getting this on your hubs, your bearings, it's just going to help them anyway, and A-arms. I mean, you can do other parts. Alright, once you spread it on, it should be nice and strong. I mean, the more you do it, the more stretchy it will come, and the more it will take bad impacts. Now it's taking actually quite ridiculous landings at all sorts of angles, and it's taking it quite well. I mean, you don't want to put too much on, because then you get to the point where you start knackering your shock shafts, and drive shafts coming out, and it's just going to be all over the place. But, you know, it's a nice little hack to do. I mean, this will work on almost any A-arm, as long as they're plastic. Metal ones obviously won't seep in. Not like you really want to do metal A-arms, because instead of bending and absorbing the impact, they just snap or bend, depending on the metal grade, or break the chassis or bulkheads. So anyway, that's a nice little hack. You want to make anything stronger. If you want to do it to sort of harder A-arms, you have to do it more than once. The ones on Team Associated trucks now, they're nice hard plastic, which is good for sort of nice exact steering, but not very good for bashing and taking bad impacts. Now, I'm not too annoyed that this one broke. It did a couple of months ago. My ESC played up. It's my fault. I recalibrated it wrong to try and reduce the braking, and it shot into a tree when I tried to reverse the motor, because the motor wasn't reversing, because the way I set up the ESC. And it shot forwards full throttle into a tree, snapping an A-arm, bending a hinge pin, and bending a hinge pin brace. I hammered the hinge pin back, not very well. I had to replace it because it broke another one. And the hinge pin brace was fine. I just hammered that as well. Almost indestructible. Thanks for watching.